Goals and objectives provide a clear direction for land use planning efforts. Goals are broad statements that reflect the desired outcomes, while objectives. May sound po ba? Sorry.
Meron po.
Thank you
Yes,
po.
sir. Clear po.
Meron,
Are
sir.
specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound targets that contribute to achieving those goals. Clear and measurable goals and objectives serve as guiding principles for decision-making in the land use planning. They help us stay focused, prioritize action, and track progress. Without well-defined goals and objectives, our planning efforts may lack direction and fail to address the community's needs effectively. Stakeholder engagement and input. Stakeholder engagement and input are essential in ensuring that the goals and objectives align with the community's aspirations. By involving residents, businesses, community organizations, and other stakeholders, we can gain valuable insights and foster a sense of ownership in the planning process. Example of key inputs are new strategic CLUP vision relevant to the LGUs, community's potential, future needs, and requirements. Number 2, technically sound projections and estimates of both internal and external conditions, as well as future needs and requirements of the LGU and its people in the next 10 to 15 years. Number 3, projected climate change and disaster risk-related vulnerabilities, threats, and their potential impact integrated into the LGU's plans and communities. Alignment with development plans and policies. Goals and objectives should align with broader development plans and policies at the local, regional, and national levels. This coherence ensures that land use planning integrates seamlessly with other sectors and contributes to sustainable development. Examples of expected outputs are: number 1, identified and validated set of goals, objectives, key outcome, and results indicators. Number 2, identified target levels of change using overall and key sector, thematic, and physical areas. That's all for my report. Thank you for listening.
Evaluation of existing land use patterns and trends. Evaluating existing land use patterns and trends helps identify strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. This analysis provides a foundation for setting realistic goals and objectives that address the existing challenges and leverage the potential opportunities. So from the word evaluate, we need to assess or check kung nasusunod ba or nagagamit ba ng tama yung mga lupa natin. Dito pumapasok yung zoning ordinance na tinatawag. Zoning ordinance is a legal measurement for implementing the land use plan. Identification of challenges and opportunities. Understanding the challenges and opportunities specific to the area under consideration allows us to tailor our goals and objectives accordingly. It ensures that we focus on areas where improvement is needed the most and seize opportunities for positive change. Sustainability and resilience consideration. Sustainability and resilience are integral aspects of land use planning. So, ano-ano ba yung kailangan natin i-consider when it comes to land use planning? So first, we need to consider promoting environmental conservation. Second is the social equity. Third is the economic development. And the last is climate resilience. So by considering all this, we can assure that not only the current communities, but even the future can benefit and ensure a good quality of life.
Thank you, Ma'am Tin, for that very informative presentation. Good evening, classmates. I will first introduce myself. I am Mikey Oreya Hakar, and nice to meet you all. First, if there's any that I did not able to discuss or explain, or you have any question, you can ask it later after our discussion. So, we are done with the definition of goals and objectives, and we already know that it should be clear and measurable. So now, let's walk through the steps involved in setting goals and objectives. There are 4 steps in step 5, which is the first one is the step 5.1, review the CLUP vision statement. So it is when we review the vision statement if it is aligned with the plan of the LGU. If if the LGU allocated its land resources for the different sectors, or if the vision is aligned, or if the vision addressed the major problems and issues that need solutions, and the potentials that needs to be enhanced or improved, where the LGU will benefit in the long run. Next is step 5.2, formulate the general development goals and objectives. So, in formulating general development goals and objectives, it must translate the CLUP's vision into concrete and physical realities. So, what is goal? Goal is a broad statement of desired outcome in the medium or long term. So, it aims to address a general problem or situation of a municipality based from the situation analysis. Meron din things to consider in formulating a goal. First is, it must be able to translate the municipalities or cities vision statement into more realistic terms. Next, it must be able to address more than one problem situation. And last is, it identified key problem areas necessary for the attainment of the vision. While objectives are more specific statements of short-range desired outcomes or results towards which development activities in municipality or cities. So, and objectives must be SMART, where S stands for specific, M for measurable, A for attainable, R for realistic, and T for time-bound. This will be discussed by Sir Lou later on. So next is the third step, which is step 5.3, identify the key outcome and output indicators. So first, what are outcomes? So outcomes are the result or changes expected from the LGU level of development. Also, it can be a series or outputs of interventions delivered by LGU or NGA, or activities done for particular sectors. While yung outputs naman are the products, products, goods, services, or facilities that are directly delivered and provided for by the LGU or local agencies, organizations that are needed to achieve the desired outcomes for the CLUP. So, yung outputs, they are not the benefits or changes that occur in a community or sa LGU, but more on sa intervention siya. Interventions that introduce to the community in order for them to achieve its desired goals. For example, new farm to market road for upland farmers. Yung magiging effect niya is that it may lead to increase in income since mas mapapadali na yung pag-transport ng goods. Last is step 5.4, which is to validate and adopt the identified development goals, objectives, and key outcomes at the city, municipal, and community level. So, to validate goals and objectives, it must be in a participative process. So, yung participative process na means na it is based on the outcomes or results of barangay consultations or focus group discussions, meeting with the key informants, and etc. Um, Dito kasi, yung activity ito, it facilitates the generation of communities felt for needs, yung desires and perceived issues and opportunities. So, dito sa participative process, involved dito yung mga stakeholders na na-identified in step 2. So, sino-sino ba tong mga stakeholders na to? There are two stakeholders, which is yung primary stakeholders and secondary stakeholders. Yung primary stakeholders, there are the one who is ultimately affected or who expect to benefit or sila yung magbe-benefit from the planned interventions. While yung secondary naman, they are indirectly affected by the impacts of the CLUP. Pero they have particular knowledge or significant roles related to its formulation or implementations and sa evaluation. So next, let's move to the next slide, which is the SWOT analysis. So SWOT analysis is defined in step 4 as a method that enables the planner to generate feasible alternative strategies for the LGU as an assessment of present conditions, characteristic, and current state and utilization of the LGU's natural, physical, human, and fiscal resources. So, in order to set goals and objectives, first, we should conduct a SWOT analysis. Which, ano nga ba ang SWOT analysis? Ano nga ba ang meaning ng SWOT? So, S stands for strengths, W for weaknesses, O for opportunities, and T for threats. So, ano nga ba ang strengths? Yung strengths dito is refer to the present or inherent features or attributes or characteristic ng LGU that will enhance its development or progress. Also, eto yung kumbaga, yung mga pwede pang mas ma-enhance since eto nga is considered as strength na ng LGU. While yung weaknesses naman is kabaliktaran or kumbaga it inhibits the development or progress of the LGU. So etong dalawa, yung strength and weaknesses are labeled as internal factors kasi they are already part or inside of the LGU. While opportunities naman refers to the external economic, social, political, technological, and competitive trends, conditions, events, or circumstances that could significantly benefit the LGU or further improve its existing situation. So more on yung opportunities is for the betterment na pwedeng mangyari sa LGU. While naman yung threats is yung mga harmful or potential harmful to the LGU's present and future development or progress. Yung dalawa naman is yung yung opportunities and threats naman is considered as external factors since ito yung uncontrollable variables outside the LGU. So, yung SWOT analysis is it helps us identify the influence yung sa land use planning, and it also help in the goal setting process. Next, let's move to the next slide, which is identifying priority issues and themes. So, dito, we identify priority issues and themes based on the SWOT analysis. So, after ng SWOT analysis, dito na natin may enumerate yung strengths, yung weaknesses, yung opportunities, and threats. Since now, we will identify or choose the things that we will need more to priority or focus in for the CLUP. For example, Mas magfo-focus ba tayo sa pag-utilize ng strength or sa pag-resolve ng weakness? Will we maximize our opportunities or minimize the threats? Dito, we'll choose what to prioritize and what to do with those things to achieve our goals and objectives.
Formulate long-term goals. With identified issues and teams in mind, we formulate long-term goals. These goals reflects the desired outcomes we want to achieve in the future, providing a broad direction for our land use planning efforts. Develop smart objectives to translate our goals into actionable steps. We develop SMART, stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Specific meaning stands for letter S. Make your goals specific and narrow for more effective planning. Letter M stands for measurable. Define what evidence will prove you're making progress and reevaluate when necessary. Letter A stands for achievable. Make sure you can reasonably accomplish your goal within a certain time frame. Letter R stands for relevant. Your goals should align with your values and long-term objectives. Do not focus on unrealistic goals. Letter T stands for time-bound. Set a realistic, ambitious, end date for task prioritization and motivation. Smart objectives ensure that our actions are well-defined, measurable, and aligned with our overall goals. Prioritize goals and objectives. Lastly, we prioritize our goals and objectives based on their importance, urgency, and feasibility. This prioritization helps us allocate resources efficiently and focus our efforts on the most critical areas of land use planning. Examples of goals and objectives in CLUP. Let's look at some examples of goals and objectives in the context of a comprehensive land use program.
Thank you. Among these goals and objectives are economic development and job creation, environmental conservation and sustainability, and social equity and inclusive development. To give a concrete example of this, I am citing the municipality of Taytay, one of the towns in the eastern part of Rizal Province. Taytay is well known as being the garment capital of the Philippines. Buyers and traders from all over the Philippines flock to Taytay to avail of the good quality yet very inexpensive garments for everyone. This has surpassed another industry Taytay is also known for, which is the sash and woodworking industry. The municipality of Taytay shows a very high employment rate for jobs that do not need high levels of academic knowledge but involves mostly skills training. Thus, linkages with TESDA are being actively pursued to enhance these skills to create more jobs. In the area of environmental conservation and sustainability, the municipality of Taytay has in place various safeguards to protect the environment. Being surrounded by Laguna de Bay, flooding is a major concern. The municipality has been proactive and had established the cleanup of the Mangahan floodway and the Laguna Lake. Also in place is the May Pera sa Basura campaign, which is aimed to encourage recycling and eco-product entrepreneurship to implement the provisions of Republic Act 9003 or the Ecological Solid Waste Management Program. Social equity is seriously implemented, having the goal of providing fairness and access to programs, services, education, housing, and even participation in the electoral process. In Taytay, the influx of informal settlers and marginalized dwellers had pushed the municipality to focus in the strengthening of its socialized housing program. It has very recently been given approval by the Department of Human Settlements and Urban Development, or the DSUD, for the construction of a vertical type socialized housing for its low-income sector. In the field of education, scholarship programs are being offered, and construction and rehabilitation of school buildings are being undertaken. This is likewise true for the health sector, with the establishment of health facilities and healthcare assistance. Inclusive development, on the other hand, is the concept that every person, regardless of their identity, is instrumental in transforming their societies. This is evident in the program of the municipality to mitigate the effects of flooding involving its residents, caused by the big volume of waste generated by the informal settlers living near the waterways of Taytay. A comprehensive information drive is undertaken on the proper disposal of waste, the role of the residents for the long-term reduction and eventual elimination of flooding in the municipality. These concerns are all factored in the Community Development Program of Taytay, or the CDP, which is the implementing plan of its comprehensive land use program. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I will be discussing the implementation strategies under step 5 of goals and objectives. Once we have established our goals and objectives, we need effective implementation strategies to realize them. Strategy implementation is the process of turning your strategic plan into action. Please note that planning the goals and objectives is as valuable as the implementation. On this topic, we cover the different framework associated on the effective implementation strategies in order to attain our goals and objectives successfully. Having a strategic plan is great, but unless we have the bandwidth, resources, and support to implement the CLUP, it's not going to drive actual change in community. So we're going to cover the basic steps of strategy implementation and the few frameworks which is commonly used in the process of implementing. So the 6 key strategy implementation steps. Before we can implement our strategy, we need to create a strategic plan. Our strategic or implementation plan outlines the steps our team or organization needs to take in order to achieve a goal or objective. Our implementation plan is the roadmap to a successful strategy execution, and below are the key steps in strategic planning. First, we must define our goals. Second, we must conduct proper research. Third, map out any risks. Fourth, we schedule all milestones. And fifth, we assign tasks. And sixth, and last but not the least, is to allocate helpful resources. So what we need to implement this strategy? So we need people or the stakeholders. First, we need people or stakeholders. We'll need a team that not only understands the strategy that we want to implement, but also has the skills and bandwidth to support us. Appoint, hire, and train the right people or agency for the job, and ensure that competencies needed to succeed are present in that organization. So second, we must have the resources. We'll need a team that not only understands the most important parts in strategy implementation. Resources can be both financial, which is the cost of labor, etc., and non-financial. We have the time to implement strategy. So next, we must have the organization. Everyone in the organization needs to know what their responsibilities clearly so that they can be accountable for their part in implementing the strategy. This also means that the chain of command has to be defined and communicated so everyone knows who to continue with during the implementation process. So fourth rather, we must have the systems. So the tools, capabilities, and systems we've put in place are another key component. The appointed government agencies have to know what the functions of these systems are and how they will support our strategic management process during and after the implementation. Culture. The final key component is the culture within the community. Rolling out new strategies can be confusing and stressful for the community. Ensuring that everyone knows what they need to know and feels valued and included is crucial for a successful and effective implementation. So, next topic is the collaborative partnerships and stakeholders involvement. So, collaborative partnerships and the stakeholder involvement are vital for successful implementation. By engaging relevant stakeholders such as government agencies, community groups, and private entities, we can pool resources, expertise, and support. What is the role of a stakeholder? A stakeholder's primary role is to help an implementing agency meet its strategic objectives by contributing their experience and perspective to a project. Their involvement in setting the goals and objectives are very much vital. They can also provide necessary materials and resources. Their support is crucial to a successful project. They are the primary decision maker of the objective. It's up to the project manager to keep the stakeholders happy through strategic stakeholder management, through direct and timely communications and understanding their expectations and time frame for the project. A stakeholder can help bring a company's project or organization to completion by providing valuable support, insight, and resources. Understanding the role of stakeholder can be crucial to achieving project success. Thank you for listening.
Hi, good evening Sir John and everyone. I am Danica G. Ginto, a first-termer at Gardner College from the beautiful beaches and mountains of Casiguran, Aurora. I would be presenting a continuation of the effective implementation strategies to realize our goals and objectives. Let us talk about policy and regulatory changes. Policy and regulatory changes play a crucial role in aligning land use planning with our goals and objectives. Updating zoning regulations, land use codes, and development guidelines can facilitate the desired outcomes. After natin mag-set at establish yung goals and objectives, kinakailangan natin tingnan kung naaayon pa ba ang mga zoning regulations, land use codes, at development guidelines na nais at gusto natin ma-achieve sa ating land use planning. Ano nga ba ang mga ito? Ito ang nagtatakda ng division ng community sa mga districts gaya na lamang ng residential, industrial, institutional, at iba pa. Ito ang nagre-regulate at nagsasabi ng direct land use kung paano ito dapat gamitin. Kapag hindi na ito akma sa ating goals and objectives, ay nararapat lamang na i-update o pagyuhin na ang mga ito. The next one is infrastructure development. Infrastructure development is often necessary to support the implementation of our goals and objectives. It may involve investments in transportation, utilities, public spaces, and other essential amenities. Para mapulfill ang goals and objectives, dapat hindi tayo maging maramot at stagnan sa mga infrastructure development. Kinakailangan natin mag-invest sa mas maayos at kapaki-pakinabang na mga kalsada, lalo na sa mga probinsya na hindi pa halos sementado ang mga daan para mas maging maganda ang mobility sa ating lugar. Utilities gaya ng kuryente, tubig at gas ay hindi rin dapat ipagwalang bahala. Gayon din ang paglalaan ng public spaces tulad ng mga parke, playgrounds at iba pang essential amenities. The last one for my topic is monitoring and evaluation mechanisms. To ensure progress and accountability, we need robust monitoring and evaluation mechanisms, regularly tracking indicators, collecting data, and assessing outcomes help us measure the effectiveness of our land use planning efforts. So after ba nating mag-establish ng goals and objectives, hanggang doon na lamang ba tayo? Hindi, kasi dapat nating alamin kung umuusad ba ang ginagawa nating planning process. So paano? Kailangan nating mag-gather ng mga necessary data, tracking indicators, at i-assess ang mga outcomes nito base sa ating goals and objectives. Sa gayon, malalaman natin kung saan may pagkakamali o pagkukulang na pwede nating mapunan para masiguro natin ang success at effectivity ng ating land use plan. Pwede nating gamitin ang alinman sa 4 na monitoring mechanisms base sa gusto nating malaman o masagot sa ating evaluation. Surveillance monitoring, it is designed to uncover change in target variables over space and time. Pangalawa ay implementation monitoring. It is designed to record whether management actions were applied as prescribed. Pangatlo, effectiveness monitoring. It is designed to evaluate whether a given management action was effective in meeting a stated management objective. And number 4 is ecological effects monitoring. It is designed to uncover unintended ecological consequences of management actions. That's it for my part. Thank you all for listening.
Hi everyone, my name is Ferdinand Paulo Bolier and I will be continuing discussing the rest of the report. So we'll start with challenges and mitigation strategies. Now as with any planning process, there are challenges that may arise. Now let's discuss some common challenges and mitigation strategies. Dito po papasok yung sinasabi nila na if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Now when we create a plan, part of that should include the challenges or problems na pwede lumabas. Another quote is, anything that can go wrong will go wrong. So it's best to have a plan ready to go over yung mga challenges na pwedeng dumaan. Mangyari man o hindi, dapat meron tayong preparation. Next is political and institutional challenges. These challenges are often rooted in the dynamics of decision-making and organizational structures can significantly impact the implementation of our goals and objectives. So let's dive into how we can address them and ensure smooth progress. Short rant, so alam naman natin, dito sa Pilipinas, ibang level yung political challenges. Kasi mabilis magpalit ng priority sa mga governing bodies, lalo na pag may trending or may leadership shift. Kaya ang progress sobrang bagal. Anyway, back to the report. Dapat yung plans na ginawa natin, they are ready for these changes as well. Okay. So next is limited resources and funding. So limited resources and funding can indeed pose a hurdle to our implementation efforts. However, there are proactive steps we can take to overcome this challenge. By exploring alternative funding sources, pursuing partnerships with the private sector, and actively seeking grants, we can secure the necessary resources needed to move forward with our plans. Next is public resistance to change. Public resistance to change is not uncommon, but is something we can manage effectively. Throughout the planning process, we need to engage and educate the public about our goals and objectives by emphasizing the benefits of the proposed changes and addressing any concerns through transparent and effective communication. We can gain public support and navigate through potential resistance. Next is capacity building and training initiatives. To tackle challenges head-on, we must invest in capacity building and training initiatives. Providing ample training opportunities for planners and stakeholders is crucial. This will enhance their skills and knowledge, enabling them to navigate complexities and implement the goals and objectives successfully. Continuous learning will empower our team to adapt and innovate as needed. Now, to conclude, I guess dito pumapasok yung, alam mo yung, when you think about planning, think about yung map, yung app na ginagamit natin for driving, yung Waze and Google Maps, di ba? So, the importance kasi when it comes to planning is first understanding where you are. Di ba, pag gamit mo yung Waze or Google Map, hindi ka niya mabibigyan ng direksyon o yung hindi ka niya mabibigyan ng path from point A to point B kung hindi niya alam muna kung nasaan ka or kung asan yung point A. So when it comes to planning, you first need to understand where you are and then figure out where you want to go. Pag naintindihan mo na where you are, which is very crucial, and this is where you want to go, which is also very crucial, now you will be able to lay out a path to go from point A to point B. Parang yung Waze. Hingyan ka muna ng direction sa gusto mo pumunta, hindi pupuntahan mo, asan ka muna? Diba? So, it is very, very important to really have a plan. It's crucial. I really can't find the words to emphasize this enough. I can even argue that planning is one of the most important things. Not only for this report, but for anything in life. Alam mo yun. So, I guess that's the end of my report. And thank you so much for watching, for your time, and sana nakikinig ka pa. Good night. Bye-bye.
So, okay, class, kindly open your camera so that we can have our class picture. Ma'am Cha, pwede ka pong mag-screenshot.
Sige po, sir. Ready na po? Ready na po, ah. 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay na po.
See you next week. God bless.
Thank you po.
Thank you, Sir John.
Ingat po lahat. Stay safe and
Thank
drive.
you,
God bless po.
Sir.
Keep safe, everyone. God bless.